Welcome to the Voice of Viet Vegas special editions, Meet the Candidate. Today, I am pleased to have a conversation with the very good friend of the Asian community here in Las Vegas. He is running for elections to the Nevada State Senate to represent District 11. Please welcome Joshua Dowden.
Thank you for having me, Tuan. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak to the constituents of Senate District 11.
All right. So let me first ask you a question here. Could you tell us that actually where is District 11 for the state Senate? It's coming from where to where, and where is it ended?
Absolutely. So I get this question all the time, and right. the state district lines are drawn in such a way that a lot of people don't know where they're at. So to be very clear, if you live in Spring Valley or Chinatown, you're in Senate District 11. If you wanted to be a little bit more specific, it is from Desert Inn to Warm Springs, from Durango to I-15. There's a few pockets in between there to where it stretches as far down to Blue Diamond, but in general, if you're in Spring Valley or Chinatown, you're in Senate District 11.
All right. Okay. So I assuming that there is quite a bit of Asian who live in that in your district then. So, but first of all, I'd like to congratulate you for the winning the primary with the overwhelming victory of more than 78% of the vote. Can you tell us of such a strong victory?
Well, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Overwhelmingly, the constituents of Senate District 11 nominated me to be their representative. I think that we just really spoke to the voters. So we went into the community, we were asking them what is important to them. Education is important to them, safety is important to them, and right now, the top priority is the economy. So right now, many Nevadans are suffering from this current pandemic that we're in, and they're suffering from the economy, and that is their #1 priority.
My understanding is that you are such a successful entrepreneur and running a very successful financial advising practice. What made you run for the office, and what do you wish to accomplish?
Well, thanks again for the question. So I've been in Nevadan for 20 years, moved here in 1999. I've raised 2 kids here in Nevada. Both my children are graduates of CCSD, of the education system that we have. They both have gone up to Reno to go to the University of Nevada, Reno. And so what prompted me to run for elected office is that, first and foremost, the local representatives, the local elections are far more important to our everyday lives than versus the representatives in Washington versus federal politics. Local politics affect everything that we do. State politics affect our taxes, they affect our education system, they affect our healthcare, they affect everything that we do. So first and foremost, I decided that the direction that Nevada was headed into was a direction that I wasn't particularly comfortable with. Once my kids went off to college and I was able to dedicate the time that I needed to make a real difference in our community through politics, I decided that was the best time for me to run. And I decided that 2020 was the year for me to throw my hat in the ring and really make a difference as far as education, healthcare, and now our top priority is our economy, getting Nevadans back to work and keeping taxes low.
Right. My understanding is one of your primary platform is education. And as you know, the U.S. News and World Report in 2019 ranked Nevada public education system at 48 out of 50 states for pre-K to 12th grade, and 18 for the higher educations. We only above Louisiana and I think that Louisiana and Alabama and Mississippi and Alabama, I think, which has been moved up a few spots since the last few years. Your primary platform is focusing to improve education in Nevada. Tell us why and what's wrong with our school system.
Well, again, thanks for the question. I just want to make sure to clarify, my primary concern and my primary reason for running is to improve Nevada as a whole. We've got several issues here in Nevada that we need to make sure to tackle. Chief among those is going to be our failed education policy, as you pointed out, for several decades. Just want to make sure to go on record is that every politician that has tried to tackle this issue should be embarrassed of themselves.
Right.
They should be ashamed of themselves. We are 48th in the nation in education. We are doing our future a disservice. We're doing our children a disservice. We are doing the nation a disservice at 48th in the country. That is embarrassing, and we should all be embarrassed for that. So what is really the issue? School choice is right at the top of that. If you, as a parent, could choose the best education for your child, wouldn't you want to choose that? Why are you tied to your zip code as to where your kids have to go to school? You're tied to 89102, so your kids are zoned to go to a particular school. What if that school isn't best for your kid? Shouldn't you choose which schools, which education is best for your child? Don't you know as a parent which curriculum, which education, which teachers are best for your children? So I want to make sure to give parents a choice as to which school their kids can go to get the best education that they could possibly get. So Nevadans deserve better. Nevada children deserve better. Nevada parents deserve better. We should choose which schools that our kids go to.
Yeah, I'm totally agree with you. And I think that, I am advocating a school of choice. So, or a voucher for school. I think that would do a very good service to the communities as well as parents wanted to choose which school that the kids wanted to. Secondly, that when you have a competitions, basically that is always better for the consumer. And we are the consumer. We are the people who live in the state, a choice of where to send our kid. Since we are in the education topic, I believe that Attorney General Aaron Ford used to be the state senator of District 11, where you are running now. And recently, the Attorney General, on behalf of the state, on May 21st, 2020, signed an amicus brief supporting of Harvard University practice of downgrading Asian applicants based on their race. This action is an act of severe discriminations against the Asian American community in America. Are you familiar with this issue, or if you have heard of this?
I'm not as familiar with it as with you are. I'm somewhat familiar in that the discrimination component of this is egregious. We should all be offended by this as Americans. We're all Americans, we're all Nevadans, and there should be no discrimination across the board, period.
We are working very hard to have the Attorney General to retract his support for that. So, and that is, in fact, it is in a violation of the Constitution's of Equal Protection Clause. In any case, since we are in the same topic, what is your opinion on the Superintendent Jesus Jara? Are our CCSD too big that need to be broken down to a smaller district? Do you have any suggestions of how we can take care of our educations here, especially that there is a lot of promise, as you mentioned earlier, that the money of the sales of the marijuanas that go into education center?
Absolutely, and thanks for the question. As we mentioned at the top of this, education is my top platform. So I know Jesus Jara pretty well. We've met on a number of occasions. I like him personally. I think he's a good individual. I think he's a good superintendent. I think he does the best of his ability for his job. Now, with that being said, we have the 5th largest school district in the country. CCSD is the 5th largest school district in the entire country. Las Vegas Metropolitan is nowhere near the 5th largest metropolitan in the country. So why is our school district, why is CCSD 5th? So you'd mentioned about breaking that up to be a bit more manageable. I would absolutely agree with that. When you are that large, managing something that big is enormous. It's incredibly difficult. It would be far better It would be far better for the students. It would be far better for the teachers. It would be far better for every administrator if we made the school district a little bit smaller to be a bit more manageable. Everybody benefits when it's more manageable. Case in point would be the classroom sizes. Currently, classroom sizes are 50% above maximum occupancy. 50%. Any teacher is going to tell you that 50% too large, they can't manage their classrooms. And that's reasonable. That's incredibly reasonable. First off, we need to hire more teachers. But my point there being is that if we had smaller classroom sizes, we can manage the classrooms better. Why doesn't that same idea transform into a smaller school district being more manageable? Well, the answer is it absolutely does. It absolutely does. There are individuals, there are people, there are entities that have a vested interest in keeping CCSD the size that it is. But I am here to tell you that is not beneficial. The size of CCSD is not beneficial to the teachers. It's not beneficial to the students. It's not beneficial to the parents. It's not beneficial to the state. It's not beneficial. So the size of CCSD is too large. The size of the classrooms are too large. The way that we treat our teachers is not nearly good enough. So the teachers are some of the people that we need to make sure that we're taking care of the most. And the size of the school the school district doesn't allow us to do that. So Jesus Jara, I think, does the best with what he's given. I think that he does a reasonably decent job, but the job is just too big. I mean, it's just too big. It's too big for him. It's too big for one individual to handle, and it needs to be more confined. It needs to be a little bit more structured, and it needs to be more manageable.
Yeah, let me tell you a story about ourselves that I experienced with. We moved here to Nevada from Massachusetts back in 2002, and my wife used to be a teacher, and she taught in Massachusetts, which is ranked #1 in all type of educations, from K to K-12 to higher education, colleges, and so forth. And she was Teachers of the Year there for several years in Massachusetts in the 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And when she moved here, I think her salary, if she works at the school system, her salary gonna cut in half. And then when they select her and they ask her to take a few more courses in order for her to be able to teach. And I was laughing. I said that, she ranked, she was Teacher of the Year for several years in the top school in the country, #1. And she got a master's degree in education. And now we go into at the time, I think we are in the bottom, which is 50 out of 50. And they asked her to take 2 more courses. And I told her that you must be crazy. And then finally that they said, okay, you don't have to take it because, after they see all of the credentials that she has. But the only problem with that is this: the salary, in order for you to be a teacher here and with the salary, you could not even afford if you depending on the salary of teachers here to have
Right.
a decent house. So that's why we cannot recruit good teachers. And I think that need to be reformed, and somehow that having some incentive for the better teachers to come here to the state. So that's the story I want to share. Right.
I'd like to interject there, for a second, is that I would like to go on record as saying I think we have very good teachers here at CCSD and here in Nevada.
Oh, I mean, this has been improved quite a bit in the past few years, though. Yeah, right.
I think that teachers enter this profession because they have a love for the students. Right. They have a love for education. They have a passion for it. I have so much respect for our educators, and we need to help them become the best educators they can be. That being said, is that we need to demand that we give the best scenarios, the best situations. We put our teachers in the best situations for success. Is that our teachers are the most valuable commodity that we have in our society. That we give them our students, we give them our children to educate every single year. We give them our future, and we need to make sure that our teachers have all the tools that they need to be successful. And right now in Nevada, we're just not doing that.
All right, thank you so much for that. And let's move to another topics. Nevada small businesses face financial challenges, uncertainty in reopening. It is not surprising that a quarter of the small businesses survey said they would consider closing the door for good. What is your visions to revitalize the economy and how to help those small businesses to come back?
So we need a lot of work here in Nevada to get our economy jump started again. Now, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but we're going to be around 25 to 30% unemployment here in Southern Nevada because we have such a large dependence on our service workers. We love our service workers. We love what we do here in Nevada, and we appreciate everything that they do for us. But the fact of the matter is, when you close down the casinos, those are our service workers. When you close down the casinos, those people don't have jobs anymore. So we need to make sure that we're helping our service industry and our service workers. We need to make sure that we are getting these people back to work, that we are providing jobs, we're providing the correct economy for these individuals to get back to work. As pertaining to our small businesses, we need our small businesses here in Southern Nevada, in all of Nevada. We need our small businesses to be strong, to be vibrant. And how do we accomplish that? We need to make sure that we have the right tax structure for our small businesses. We need to make sure that we have a conducive regulatory environment for our small businesses, that we are not suffocating them with too much regulation, that we're not overwhelming them with too many taxes. The current legislature, the current governor, the current administration here in Nevada is not business friendly. And we need to make sure that we get back to being tax and business friendly here in Nevada so that we can not only put our people back to work that are waiting for their jobs, but that we create more jobs here in Nevada, that we foster an environment to where people want to move here, that people want to start their businesses here, to where businesses from all over the country and all over the world want to move their headquarters here.
Absolutely. And, as you mentioned that small business is the livelihood of the state. Yeah, I think we need big business, casinos as well, but small business that contribute into the economies as well. And the issue is that I believe that as of now, I think it's over 166,000 of people who are unemployed. They could not claim their unemployment benefits. So what is the solution?
So the current governor, and I do not like picking apart the current governor. I don't. I'm trying to find what the current governor is doing, and I'm trying to find what the current legislature is doing to help Nevadans. The fact of the matter is they're just not doing enough. Case in point here is that there are Nevadans that are not receiving their unemployment benefits. These are incredibly important so that Nevadans can pay their rent, so they can pay their mortgage, so they can put food on the table. This was no fault of their own that they don't get a paycheck. The governor decided that he was going to shut down the economy, and he did not provide the services to where people can go file for unemployment. People, the unemployment lines were too long, the phone lines were too busy, they were getting denied, it wasn't happening. So what did he decide to do instead? He decided to set up a phone line so that you can now snitch on your neighbors for not adhering to his policy of wearing a mask. And wearing a mask is great, wearing a mask is important, that's fine. But do we really need to allocate resources to a phone line and people manning these phone lines so that you can snitch on your neighbor? No. What we need to do is allocate those resources to helping people file for the unemployment benefits, for helping Nevadans pay their rent, for helping Nevadans pay their mortgage, for helping Nevadans put food on the table, for helping Nevadans that are struggling. That's where we need to focus our resources on.
And in addition to that, I believe that most of small business, especially that mom and pop business, and the governor is ordering them to close their door for not doing any business, but now to resuming back that all of the small businesses need to pay their rent starting July. So I don't think that even if they open the business, I don't think they're gonna recuperate that fast for the last few days in order to pay the rent. They can actually get evicted right in July, which is starting as of yesterday. Do you have any idea of how we can actually appealing that?
So I actually do. So very much so. So we can't fix what has happened already. We can't live in the past. We can't go back and retroactively fix what happened in March, April, and May. We can't, or even June. We can't retroactively fix that. We can only fix what we're going to do moving forward. So the governor has made a horrible decision in letting that executive order lapse. And now, as of July 1st, you can not only charge rent for now moving forward, which seems like a reasonably decent idea, but now you can charge all the back rent that they didn't allow for over the last couple of months. So now Nevada families that could not pay their rent for the last few months because they couldn't receive their unemployment benefits, now they are forced to pay their rents all in arrears for the last couple of months. That is so unfair. I mean, I don't even know how the current governor doesn't see how unfair that is. So what we can do is we can work with landlords. Landlords needs to get paid too. We have an economy that needs to work for everyone. It's not just strictly the tenants. Obviously, the tenants, the Nevada families, they need help, but the landlords, they have bills to pay as well. So we need to be able to work with the landlords as well as the tenants, and we need to be able to find some relief for both of these parties to make sure that everybody is well compensated and well taken care of and has a roof over their head and isn't getting thrown out, into the heat, it's out there, in these summer months. We also need to make sure that when it comes to these businesses that are closing right now, when it comes to the businesses that have been closed, when it comes to what the businesses can and cannot do, the government needs to stay out of their lives when it comes to how they run their business. The government needs to let them keep the doors open so that the patrons can continue to come through the doors, so that the customers can continue to come and frequent their establishments. The government needs to stay out of their way. What do I mean by that? The government just recently went around and passed out signs that said, no masks, no service. The government came and they made sure to do an audit on every business here in Nevada. And if you were not adhering to the executive order, you could be fined and shut down. How does that help Nevadans? How does that help our economy? How does that help anything? Is the virus real? Absolutely. I want to make sure to go on record as saying I'm not a virus denier. That would be ridiculous. However, I think the fears and the hysteria of the virus have been grossly exaggerated. They have been, go look it up. The fatalities here in Nevada are not nearly what they were projected to be. Is that while the virus is real, the threat and the danger needs to be mitigated by the individual. The threat and the danger needs to be mitigated by the businesses and by the individuals and by our individual liberty and freedom. We need to decide who we are and how we're going to combat this. Government needs to get out of our way so that we can do that.
Well, I think that that I moved here back in 2002. At the time, the climate of opening up a business is very easy. In recent years, it's getting a little bit more complicated, more fees, more. It's harder to open a business. So, if you get elected, what are you proposing to make it easier for people to come here to open the business?
So when I'm elected, Tuan, what I want to make sure that we do is we make Nevada the #1 destination for businesses to move to. We also want to make sure that here in Nevada, I'll make sure to reduce regulations to make Nevada the #1 small business destination for anyone who wants to open a small business. We need to reduce the regulations. We need government to get out of the way so that people can open up their businesses. We need to reduce the taxes, the burdensome taxes on Nevada families and on small business owners so they can open those small businesses. We need to make sure that when larger companies like Amazon or Tesla have an interest in moving here, we need to make sure to meet those challenges. And we need to make sure to reach out to Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. And we need to make sure that these people understand that we want them to come to Nevada. We also want to make sure that our small businesses have the tax structure that is most conducive for them. We want to make sure that the regulations for our small businesses are as such to where they can open these small businesses without all of the burdensome government regulation. We need to make sure that we are the top destination for small businesses to open up and larger businesses to relocate here.
Do you think we need to diversify our industry here rather than depending on a couple main one like the casinos? So how do you attract other type of industry coming to Nevada?
So we love our service industries. We love our strip. I mean, that is what Nevada is famous for. It's what Las Vegas is famous for, is that we are Las Vegas. We are Nevada, and the Strip is at our core who we are. We love our service people. They are amazing. They do amazing work, and we love having them here. We also are growing. We're a growing city. We're a growing economy. We're a growing state. We only have 3.5 million people here, and we have tons of real estate. We have tons of opportunity. We have tons of growth. We have tons of opportunity for people to come here, start up their businesses and move here. So do we need to diversify our economy? Absolutely we do. We need to make sure to take care of our bread and butter. We need to make sure to take care of all of our casino workers and all of our casino industries. We need to make sure that Nevada stays strong and that Las Vegas stays strong. But we also need to make sure that as a growing city, that we meet the challenges and the demands of every growing city. We need to make sure that we encourage new businesses to come here. I had mentioned Elon Musk and Tesla a little bit ago, last month or the month before. They had tweeted out specifically that they wanted to come to Nevada. Who reached out to them? They said that they were willing to move their headquarters to Nevada. Did anybody in Nevada reach out to Elon Musk and to Tesla and say, we would love to have you here? Because that's something that we need to do. When Amazon was forced out of New York, did anybody from Nevada reach out and say, we would love to have you here in Nevada? Here's what we're willing to do for you. Business is important. Business is about making sure that it is acceptable for everybody involved, the business owners, the employees, the state. It's making sure that everybody is in a win-win-win situation. And here in Nevada, that's exactly what we need to do.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. But in order for us to cater to new businesses, in order for us to attract other big business or as well as small business to come here to Nevada, the two key factors that we need to think of is education is number one. The second part is the healthcare. And Nevada ranks, unfortunately, also in the bottom of the national healthcare services here in Nevada. What would you propose to get our healthcare system to improve?
So we have one of the leading universities for medicine here in Southern Nevada. We have no excuse for healthcare professionals that go through our university here in Southern Nevada, UNLV, that they don't stay here in Southern Nevada. We need to make it conducive for healthcare professionals to stay here, open up businesses here in Southern Nevada. That is something that they're in our backyard already. They're graduating from our university already. We are doing such a piss poor job at asking them to stay, inviting them to stay, making it important for them to stay. We need to do a better job at incentivizing them through tax structures, through reduced regulations, making sure that they know we want them here in Southern Nevada. And as I said a couple of times already, they're graduating in our backyard. They are right here in Nevada when they graduate. We have the first opportunity to make the biggest impression upon them, to stay in a city that is fabulous when it comes to our overall life, when our weather is immaculate, when our weather is fantastic, when we don't have any of the issues that other states have when it comes to natural disasters and things of that nature. Nevada, Southern Nevada and Las Vegas is a prime destination that people want to come to. And we just, as a government, need to make sure that we provide them the structure, low taxes, low regulations for something that they already want to do.
On that note, I believe that you are correctly cited, though. And I think this is a destiny for a lot of retirees to move to and establish their residency here. And they are complaining that the system sucks here, especially in the healthcare service. So if they have that kind of attitude, they're not going to go into call their friends from on another state to move here because the healthcare system here sucks. It's getting improved though. I think in the last few years. However, it still need to have a big improvement in terms of attracting other retirees to move here, as well as big businesses, small businesses, and other people to reestablish here in Nevada. So for that, I think you pointed it right. We had the medical school here for several years now, and I think that hopefully, if we have the right structure that would retain them here and practice here instead of moving to another state. And I don't know about the statistic of how much they get paid, but I think it's still lower than majority of the metropolitans that in our size.
Well, just to begin with, is as I mentioned, just a minute ago, is that we need to attract more healthcare professionals to want to be here, to want to relocate here, to want to stay here, to want to open up their businesses here, to want to open up their practices here. So when we do things like that, we are in and of itself creating new jobs and good paying jobs for Nevada families. Is that these are the types of jobs that we want here in Nevada. These are the types of industries that we want here in Nevada. This is what Nevada families deserve. This is what the healthcare community deserves. They all deserve to be here. They all want to be here. This is an outstanding community to be into. We just, as government, need to get out of their way. The problem that we've had over the last several years is that government is too involved. And government, if you are voting for left-leaning policies, you are voting for more government. You're voting for more government intrusion. Is that we need to vote for less government. We need government to get out of the way. You know how to run your business. You know how to run your household. You know what's best for you. You know what's best for your community. You know what's best for your neighborhood. We as government need to let you do that. We need to get out of your way and let you run what you already know is best for you.
Okay. Well, switch to another subject though. Second Amendment is very dear to your heart. I think why it is so important to us, especially at this moment in time.
Well, thanks for that opportunity as well. So the Second Amendment is second for a reason. So the Second Amendment is there to prevent government tyranny, and make no mistake, that is the reason why the Second Amendment is so important, is to prevent government tyranny. But we're seeing right now in 2020, in the summer of 2020, why the Second Amendment is so important. We are seeing a lot of anarchy. We're seeing a lot of people taking situations into their own hands. And we need to make sure that we as individuals can protect ourselves. We need to make sure that we can protect our families, we can protect our livelihoods, we can protect our communities. We need to make sure that when government fails to protect us, which is what is happening in many communities around the country, we need to make sure that we can protect ourselves. We are Americans. We lead. We don't follow. When I hear the argument that other countries don't have the Second Amendment, that's exactly right. They're not Americans. We are Americans. We lead, we don't follow. We don't look to the rest of the world for what to do. The rest of the world looks to us is what we need to do. And the Second Amendment is so valuable. We are the only country that has the right to keep and bear arms. And that is so valuable. And we are seeing that in today's society right now. To protect your family, protect your livelihood, to protect your community, you need to be able to defend yourself.
I urge the audience to learn more about Mr. Joshua Dowden by going to his campaign website and Facebook page, which is listed on the screen for additional information about his candidacy, and consider him for the elections in November. Do you have any message to the audience before we end these sessions? Mr.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for considering my candidacy. Thank you for being Las Vegans. Thank you for being Nevadans. I live right here in Spring Valley. I live right here in Chinatown. This is my community. This is who I am. This is who we are. I'm running because local politics means something to our lives. Local politics means better schools. Local politics means better healthcare. Local politics means a better economy. Local politics means something to your life. My name is Joshua Dowden, and I'm asking for your vote. I'm Nevada, and we are Nevada.
Well, again, thank you so much, Mr. Joshua Dowden. Best of luck in November. For our viewer out there, have a wonderful week, and we will see you again on our next episode of The Voice of Viet Vegas. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tuan.
Thank you.